and welcome back to our channel. Today we're talking about how cruising has helped our marriage. We've gone on how many cruises?
20.
We've gone on 3 cruises, right? Actually, I was looking it up. We went on a cruise in 2022, 2023, and 2024. This year's 2025. So we've done about a cruise a year since 2022.
Do you want to kick that up a notch, or?
I would love to kick that up a notch, but at the very least, I'd like to keep it consistent. Other than that, I think that, cruising has been really great for our marriage. I don't know if you would agree.
Yeah, I would agree.
Before that, I think our biggest type of traveling was Galveston trips, which no knock to Galveston at all. We love Galveston and we take it whenever we can get it, but that's just not our probably number one way to vacation. It's like neck and neck with cruising.
It's neck and neck.
It's much more affordable. If we want luxury, we go on a cruise.
Galveston's beautiful.
Yes.
But I like the colors of something other than Galveston.
Yes.
And
I
the
would
smells of something other than Galveston.
Yes.
Sometimes Galveston is not my friend.
I agree. With that, we're going to list off some ways that we feel that cruising has helped our marriage.
I'll get it started. So I think building better connections is one of the ways that traveling on cruises helped out. It helps because you're away from things that are associated with our everyday lives on land, right? So being away kind of helps us focus on us.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, it like resets our connection basically.
It resets our connection.
Because sometimes with school for you and work for you and life for you and work for me and my YouTube channel and all the other little hobbies that I have, it can be like, we don't necessarily drift apart. It can be really easy to not really have that forced time to spend together. When you're on a cruise, you have no choice but to be with each other the entire time. I like that.
For sure.
Yeah. I would also say that it helps us communicate more. I think we have a pretty good communication schedule, I guess you could call it. We have Friday team meetings every single Friday. We kept up with those for before we were married.
Yeah.
So longer.
But that doesn't mean we only talk on Fridays.
No. How would you define what our team meetings are?
I believe our team meeting is more so us finding a specific time to talk about the things that we find super important. But that doesn't necessarily mean that we have to alienate our communication to only that day. We still talk throughout the week whenever we have our dates and stuff like that. But it's just super important for that specific time to know that we're setting a specific time apart for communication.
Yeah, no, I would agree. Our team meetings, I would think they're one of the best things we've implemented in our marriage.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's really helpful. And I think that pretty much being on a cruise is like a non-stop team meeting. Not that you're just bringing up all these issues in your marriage. We've had conversations on cruises where we talk about businesses we want to start. We talked about like dreams we have or goals we have for ourselves individually, not just as a couple.
Yeah.
We talk about things with our families, like our thoughts about our families, like, where we see our joint future family going, like what we want to implement on our children and stuff like that, which I think is really cool. Yeah.
For sure.
What else do you think cruises do to help our marriage better?
I think it helps build intimacy. There's a lot of times when we get bogged down with everyday life to where we can't necessarily be intimate. That doesn't necessarily mean like sexual or anything like that. But being able to like touch her and make her feel loved and wanted by me is also super helpful. Because I could get very into everyday life and not stop. So it helps just focusing on those things. Yeah.
I think this kind of ties to intimacy. Something about being on a cruise, meeting strangers and everything, and just talking to them about your spouse, like, oh, this is my wife and this is what they like to do, or we just got engaged, having that conversation with people. I think something about that improves our intimacy too, because when you're going from your day to day, you don't really get the opportunity to introduce your spouse to someone new. But it's like on a cruise, you get that every single second. Like we could go from one jacuzzi to the next and you're like reintroducing your spouse. And I think that can kind of build the intimacy, because it's nice to hear your husband say nice things about you to a stranger. Yeah. You don't get that every day.
Yeah. And speaking of intimacy, I think we focus more so on our love languages. Our one that we have in common is quality time. So because all we have is quality time in these situations when we're on a cruise, it just gives it another level of intimacy. So
with the meeting strangers thing, I also mentioned that it's really nice to meet new people and get advice. So like we mentioned, we did get engaged on a cruise. Are we going to share that video on here? I don't think it's a private video on my channel.
It is a private video. Maybe we could put a slight clip in it.
Okay, well, I'll have to share that one day. But we got engaged in a cabin on a cruise, or 2 cruises ago. And when we got engaged in that cruise, I remember every single person, or every single couple that we met, we were like, what marriage advice do you have? And pretty much all of them were communication in some form or fashion. And I also remember us meeting those women. One was married and one was divorced. And they even gave us advice on the cruise, which I thought was really cool.
Follow up to that, helping us understand the importance of putting our relationship first. Again, you're on a boat where you can't go anywhere else. It just heightens the awareness of how much we choose our partner or our spouse. So it helps make us want to put each other first. I'm always getting her water. She's getting my water. She gets me a burger whenever I want a burger.
You give me a pizza when I want a pizza.
Yeah, I get her a
like
pizza.
If you just don't feel like standing in line. Like you can be so relaxed where you're just like, I really want to eat, but I just don't want to move to go eat. And I think that definitely shows selflessness. Something else I think is the shared adventures and experiences that we have. So some that come off the top of my head are paddleboarding. I thought that was pretty fun, which I was better at than you. We also
do you have any clips of that?
Yes, we do.
You do?
So we'll show clips of the paddleboarding.
What? Do not stand. What the heck? What the heck?
You got it done. You got it done to the water, man. Right there. Right there.
Slow motion. I don't think he's standing. Oh, Lord. No. No. Oh, God.
Oh man, if you weigh more than 250, yes, for sure. Oop. Are you stuck?
Oh, they're standing up. All right, girl.
Fall. Where are you going back over there?
They're standing up, y'all. They're standing up.
Oop.
Don't run into me.
And then also scuba diving, which I was also better at than you. We do not have clips of. I feel like we should have pictures.
This isn't building intimacy at all.
We're not on a cruise, so that's not what Nell's for.
Hot tubs with couples.
Okay, that sounds so weird.
That did sound weird, but
Like swingers.
swingers? No, we're not swingers. But
If we're being honest, usually we're in a hot tub and people join us.
yeah,
We don't ever see a hot tub and people and join them. We've never done
no,
that.
we're the ones that are in, and then
Yes.
people come in and try to, or they just come into the hot tub or whatnot.
Yeah,
But it's
yeah.
the conversations we have in those moments
We were in there with or two other couples that last
of
cruise.
different age ranges,
Yeah,
different mixtures, lifestyles, you know,
jobs and stuff.
jobs.
But we made some interesting people.
Yeah, forced relaxation is another way cruises just help. Because in times when we're at work or we're home, when we have to get up and do stuff, we're forcing ourselves to take a break. It honestly helps us out because, well, for me, most of the time when I get back home, there's something for me to do.
There's usually more for you to do when you get back
There's
home.
usually more for me to do. Forcing me to take that break actually helps me just recalibrate for the whole bunch of stuff that I would have to do when I get back home.
I think the last point would be that cruises help our marriage because they break our routine. I'm definitely more of a routine person than you are, but the fact of the matter is we both have routines whether we like them or not. I know one of our routines is like going to work or going to church. And our church is pretty far, so that's a long drive to have to do. We make our lunches that we want to eat for the week on like Sunday or Monday or something like that. And not having to do that and just getting a break from all the mundane stuff of life where we can just go grab pizza or go grab a 3-course dinner. I just think that's really nice to just force ourselves to break our routine, which really I think helps our marriage.
For sure. Which is why I feel like it should be done more often, and there should be some importance.
How often
For
do you
that.
think married people should be taking cruises?
I want to say at minimum once a year.
With children or without children?
One vacation cruise with your children to help everybody reset, but then the parents get to go by themselves somewhere on a cruise as well. So twice, at least minimum twice a year with children.
And then if you're not married, once a year.
Once a year,
Just
yeah.
That makes sense. I would agree. But yeah, that's it for how cruising has helped our marriage. Anything else you want to add?
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it for me.
This channel's been fun so far, so we're going to stick with it and see how it goes. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.